Control Z. Why limit the window of opportunity? Command Z. Eve took the apple. Did we learn from it fruitfully? Is that sinning? Because to me, reliving is the opposite of winning. There's always more boundaries for me to cross in my next inning. More rules to learn or to simply not follow. But losing continues to be the hardest thing to swallow. But why erase your mistakes when you can embrace these bittersweet lessons but not in distaste? Because to replace the past would be simply untrue. So my only question today is, why to undo? And now that you met Shah, I'd like you to meet Rahul. Naam to suna hoga? So, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm the guy at the end of Gully Boy who lost to Ranveer Singh in the rap battle. I heard that. Now you see what I do. I'm a rapper, I'm a music producer, an audio engineer, a foodie, a nomad, and a romantic. I was born in Hong Kong, grew up in Moscow, Russia, studied in London, and for the last 5 years, I've lived in Mumbai, chasing the dream. A dream that I've had from the age of 13 to be able to record and perform my own original music professionally at the highest level. Now, living in a modern day digital world where the Control Z and Command Z button is our go-to safety net, I feel that our real life undo buttons hides within our perfectionist tendencies. Be it our need to take extra precautions when making any little decision, and when a mistake is made or a wrong is done, we beat ourselves up endlessly, desperately wishing we could undo what's already in the past. Now, I'm a perfect example of having these qualities, trying to be a Superman within my workspace, micromanaging every part of the way, and when one part falls short, I put myself in the hot seat to blame. However, I've had multiple moments of magic within my journey, which have taught me the benefits of having what I call the no undo rule. So 2015, I'm in London. I'm 1 year out of a degree in audio engineering, and by then I had 8 years worth of recording and performing experience under my belt. Young and still infatuated with my dreams from the age of 13, I was quickly hit with thoughts of giving up. After facing tons of denial and an oversaturated market of audio engineers, which was my backup, and knocking on an unpenetratable music industry door. So I had to find other ways of making money through music, tutoring, and music production. You could find me in the back of an advertisement as an extra sometimes. But my parents, who had always been a very supportive factor in my career and journey, they always encouraged me to try things out in Bollywood. Now, I ignorantly shut down every conversation because I had this magic belief that one day I would make it in the Western world and things would just go off, you know? But in the back of my mind, I knew my chances were slim. So I gave myself an ultimatum. 1 album, 6 months, all or nothing. Full power. For 6 months, I wrote, recorded, mixed, mastered, produced, shot a music video, planned a launch party, and because I wanted my music to be heard at the highest level, I found a way to get my music video on 2 of the biggest hip-hop platforms at the time, World Star Hip Hop in the US and Link Up TV in the UK. So come release day, which I conveniently planned to be on my birthday, my birthday present was a hard-hitting tidal wave of hateful and racist comments. And at the time, I was already dealing with depression, and now felt lower than ever. What I had realized is that I was ignoring the fact that maybe my music wasn't good enough, or the fact that maybe my music didn't fit that specific market, the Western market. So I had to ask myself all these questions, but I'd realized one thing. Even though I'd given myself an ultimatum, me asking myself these questions meant I wasn't ready to give up. So I accepted my failure in that moment. The video was done, accepted my failure. But I didn't take it as career defeat. And I took the advice of my parents and decided to try a different market in Mumbai, Bollywood. And I can proudly say it was definitely the best decision I've ever made in my life. And without that very brief, dark moment in my life, I wouldn't be standing here in front of you today. Now I want to talk about the main factors of the no undo rule that brought me to this point. One, I was fearless from the moment I started that album, all the way through to me getting those results. I was fearless. Two, I made myself aware of what were the factors that led me to such results. And I made myself aware of what were the solutions, what's next. And third, I had fortitude. Now, for those of you who don't know what fortitude means, it means to be courageous during difficult times. So I was courageous enough to make a life-changing decision despite me feeling ashamed or being in a moment of embarrassment and in darkness. I was able to build the courage and make a life-changing decision. Now, a big famous figure in my life within music who's inspired me endlessly is Mr. Kanye West. And Kanye West also, I know to be the most fearless man within the music industry, also has a phrase which I live by now after these moments. Memories have to be our most painful blessing. Now, what I didn't realize, that very dark period in my life, the most embarrassing moment within my music journey in London, ended up being my most painful blessing. And in life, it's very important to cherish these painful blessings and stamp them in your memory for lessons of the future. So, what I've come to realize in recent years, there is actually one undo button at our leisure, but it is one that is very hard to push. Now, since my name is Shah Rule, and I make the rules, no, really, I make the rules. And don't worry, you won't find that I've undone that from the internet. My next rule, completely opposite from the no undo rule. If you haven't guessed it yet, it's called the undo rule. Now, the undo rule stems from reaching any level of success. And once you reach this level of success, there's a very high chance you can get comfortable and your drive can hit a little plateau. And the only way to move forward and grow is to undo certain ways of thinking which might be holding you back. Now, I'm sure you've all heard this in the form of nothing great comes from staying within your comfort zone. So, 2016, June, brace yourself for another amazing Gemini season story. I'm exactly 1 year away from my most painful blessing from London. And I'm now 8 months into living in Mumbai. My entitled NRI AC hopping attitude has fully wore off by now. And by then I realized, besides the commercial mainstream monster that is Bollywood, I realized there was a huge independent music scene all over India, which also included an up-and-coming rap community. Now, I took all measures of my no undo rule to get to work. I was networking and being seen at every event. I made friends and convinced every promoter and every DJ to give me the mic no matter what the setting was. And as a branding plus, I was around my nani, my grandmother, so much, I found my inner Sindhi senses fully bloomed that every time I left the house, I was covered in more gold chains than Liberace, Bappi Larry, and Mr. T combined. But they were Linking Road quality. I was an up-and-coming rapper. I've upgraded since. So, you could say I was genuinely happy with where my life was heading and career. And I got a little taste of recognition in Mumbai, and my drive hit a little plateau. So one day I get a call from a DJ friend of mine. He's like, yo, Shahrul, what's up? That's the way he talks. Yo, Shahrul, what's up? Tonight, I'm performing at Anil Kapoor's daughter's birthday party. Do you want to come hang out with me at the DJ booth and let's party And right away, the comfort zone devil on my shoulder spoke to me. No! There's no way you're gonna go to this party, especially not being invited or personally hired to perform at, because by now you've performed at every live music venue in the 3-mile radius of Bandra for free. So I had an ego for no reason at all. And last minute, my no undo rule kicked in. And I decided, let's be fearless. I decided, you know what, let's go to this party. Not to just enjoy the open bar, which I did, of course, but I grabbed my microphone, I grabbed my USB, filled it up with some commercial hip-hop medleys that I could perform at the party. And I headed to the party with hopes of using this as an opportunity to wow the A-listers of B-Town. So I reached the party to a few familiar faces, but I get an unwanted stare from, okay, maybe I shouldn't say her full name, but her name starts with R and ends with Ia Kapoor. And it was her sister's birthday, and I was technically crashing. So, fast forward a few hours into the party, everyone's lit, everyone's going in, and I found my moment. I take my mic, I convince my friend, let me take over the music for a little bit. I plug in, and within moments, I got the place turning up, and by 12 o'clock, I was singing Happy Birthday to Sonam Kapoor with her standing next to me, and every camera phone in the room was taking a video of us. Now, you don't have to clap your hands. It gets better. So, the next day I wake up, and I find myself on every Bollywood blog, every major Bollywood blog. Maybe my name wasn't there, but I was in the video. So, when I look back at that night in retrospect, I don't look at it as a major stepping stone in my career. It didn't do much, like opportunity-wise. I didn't start touring at all the celebrity birthday parties. But the lesson that I learned to undo the negative thoughts which hang on the imaginary comfort zone walls, to break them down and tackle any kind of opportunity and reach some moment of magic. Sometimes opportunities might end up with nothing, but you never know if you don't try. So, another person that I look up to and has brought a lot of wisdom and guidance to my life is Mr. Tony Robbins. And a quote that he has that is based off a belief from generations is that the meeting of preparation with opportunity generates the offspring we call luck. Now, in that specific birthday party of Sonam Kapoor's, I was presented with the opportunity to attend, even though I made myself feel like I was crashing. I came prepared with my USB and my microphone, and then I got lucky. Now, if I did listen to the comfort zone devil on my shoulder that one time, who knows how many other moments of luck I would have missed out on. And I would have continued to stay within the imaginary walls of my comfort zone. And I would have not grown, because that same lesson has helped me break down barriers and turn the smallest of opportunities into a career. Now, a big moment in my career recently made me realize the aftermath of both success and failure can be very short-lived. Now, there was a grueling 1-year waiting time between me being on set with Ranveer Singh and the actual release of Gully Boy. Now, in that time, I had to be patient, of course, but I worked like crazy to make sure I had enough mileage so that when the movie came out, I had some sort of name. So, come release date, amazing reviews, great box office numbers, but just weeks later, I find myself asking, what next? Now, this is the same question I asked myself in 2015 when my video had failed in London. What next? Because win or lose, you have to move on with life. A big loss may have you starting from a lower point, but a big win may have you starting and feeling internally obligated to aim higher and win bigger every time. Because no matter what in life, you're only as good as your last performance. Now, to sum up the few key experiences that I've shared with you today and a few thoughts, the one thing that I feel that can get you through both highs and lows in your life is having gratitude. And having gratitude is probably one thing that every successful person on the globe swears by. It's not something you can turn on or order off Amazon Prime. It's an internal gratitude muscle that you have to build every day and train yourself to be fully grateful for every moment and thankful for every lesson. Now, on that note, my next thought, which I'm very grateful for, which I know my Generation Z and fellow millennials will love, is to listen to your parents and elders as much as possible. Now, your parents and elders may not fully understand what you're going through, and you may not understand what they're saying half the time. But your parents and elders have lived hundreds of more moments of wanting to undo than you have had. Now, I know we live in the most connected and informative time of the human race, but there are just some answers you can't get from Google. And your parents and elders are sitting on a gold mine worth of knowledge and experience. Dig through their thoughts and advice because it just might help you shine. And I'm very grateful that it helped me shine. Lastly, I think we can leave the Control Z and Command Z thought process in the digital world where it belongs, at our fingertips. And in real life, we can adopt a Control S, a Control Save thought process. So we can stamp in our most painful blessings and keep them so we can use them as references down the line whenever we need them in the future. So we can ultimately save our lessons, save our mistakes, because one day they can truly become your savior. Thank you very much. My name is Shah.